rich, famous, and full of ghosts. Ghosts don't just haunt old, dilapidated houses. Sometimes they even turn on luxurious Hollywood mansions. It was precisely this that was a constant source of serious annoyance to actress Elke Sommers, a Swedish native, and her husband, writer Ray Hyams, in the 1960s. The couple realized that their house was haunted shortly after they bought it in 1964. The first witness to the fact was a German journalist who was lying on the edge of the pool when she saw a stranger in the yard. He might have been in his 50s and was smartly dressed in black, white shirt and tie. The guest told the hosts, who were puzzled because they did not know anyone who could fit this description. But 2 weeks later, the stranger reappeared. It was Elke Sommers' mother, who, waking up, saw him. The elderly woman was about to scream when the figure disappeared. The 2 visits represented only the beginning of the events that haunted the couple. From then on, strange noises were often heard in the house in the middle of the night. Rustling could be heard, and sometimes even noises like chairs being dragged into the dining room. At first, Hyams did not think the inconvenience had supernatural causes, so he had the trees and bushes cut down to stop the rustling. But this did not eliminate the problem. Every night before going to sleep, he carefully closed the doors and windows, but the next morning he noticed that one particular window on the ground floor was open. Throughout the night, he would hear the main door open and close, but the next morning he would find it bolted shut. Later, the exhausted writer installed 3 miniature radio transmitters on his property, but he was unable to discover any petty thieves who might be responsible for the noises. Eventually, in the spring of 1965, the couple, after assigning a friend to guard the house, left for a trip to Europe. The man took care each time to close the front door, but the next day he always found it wide open. And that August, the specter made a new appearance. The pool attendant saw a stranger lurking in the dining room. The intruder was about 6 feet tall, of stocky build, wearing a white shirt and tie. The pool man thought it was a thief, but suddenly the individual vanished before his eyes. The problem appeared insoluble, and Hyams eventually contacted the Society for Psychical Research of Southern California, which assigned the case to Dr. Thelma Moss. At that time, a psychologist at the University of California's Institute of Neuropsychiatry, Moss had several mediums visit the house, including famous local psychics such as Lotta Van Straal, now deceased, and Brenda Crenshaw. Some of the psychics immediately felt the presence of the ghost, and their descriptions all coincided with those that had been provided by the witnesses, despite the fact that they had been kept in the dark about all information concerning the case, and Moss judged these correspondences to be extremely significant. The psychics described the specter as a 50-year-old gentleman who had died of a heart attack. Somehow he was attached to the house in their view, and he did not want to leave. While the investigation was still ongoing, Hyams questioned the previous owners of the house. Apparently, they too had had similar experiences when they lived there. Apparently, the house had always been haunted, but the California writer was unfazed by the discovery. "Whoever or whatever the ghost is," he declared in an interview published in the Saturday Evening Post, "we do not intend to leave our house terrified." But they eventually left. When Moss had completed her investigation in 1966, Sommers and Hyams brought in another psychic, Jacqueline Eastlund, to investigate the situation. She gave a tour of the mansion and then warned the hosts with these words, "I see your dining room on fire next year. Be careful." Eventually, the couple, unable to take it anymore, decided to sell the house in 1967, but a mysterious fire broke out in the dining room before they could move in. The cause of the fire, like the infestation itself, has never been clarified.